Here we are.
Okay. We start?
Yes. Go.
Okay. So welcome everyone. I'm Mathilde Corsé from Noveltis. I am very pleased to welcome all of you to this Copernicus Marine Service training workshop on the Baltic Sea region. And I will leave the floor to Fabrice Messal from Mercator Océan International. We will present you the agenda of this training session. So, Fabrice?
Thank you, Mathilde. So welcome to all of you. So my name is Fabrice Messal. I work at Mercator Océan International. I'm in charge of the training and education activities. With Mathilde, we will be your hosts for this training. And I hope you will have a fruitful meeting with a fruitful workshop with us. Let's start to this introduction. I would like to introduce a little bit more the timeline of this training. Due to the COVID crisis, we had to adapt our workshop. Initially, the workshop was planned as a face-to-face workshop in Poland, but we had to adapt, and that's why we propose you a full online training workshop. So we try to organize this format in 3 rounds. The first one, is today with you in this webinar session. Just to be precise, we will have just one webinar with 2 parts. The first part is coming now with a general presentation of the Copernicus Marine Service. We will have a short coffee break, virtual coffee break, and then the second part with the presentation of the different products dedicated for the Baltic Sea, not the Black Sea, sorry for the mistake. After this round 1, you should receive an email to give you access to the practical session. And you will have 2 weeks to practice on your own on different Jupyter, different Python exercise on Jupyter notebooks. So you will receive this email. If not, don't hesitate to ask us to repair this problem, this issue. So the trainers and the experts developed 19 hands-on exercises in Python. They recorded 16 tutorial videos plus 2 videos dedicated on GIS tool. You will have access to a chat platform. You have the indication of the document you should have received in previous email to access this chat platform. On the chat platform, during the 15 days, you can ask questions, and following the availability of the different experts, they will answer you. We will collect the frequently asked questions of this chat platform and the blocking points you may encounter during these exercises, and we will have a round 3. So this is a debriefing session during which the experts will answer the frequently asked questions and the different blocking points. Okay, and you can interact directly with the developers. Okay. So this is a round 1 with 2 parts of this webinar. So I will make a presentation on the Copernicus Marine Service, a general presentation of the Copernicus Marine Service. Then Cédric Jordan from the service desk will present you the website of the Copernicus Service, the Copernicus Marine Service. And then Virginie Lafont from IC will present you a testimony on as a downstream user of this Copernicus Marine Service. And During the second part, you will have different presentation of the different products you can access on the catalog of the service. So you will have an in-situ observation product presentation by Joanna Linders, CIS products presentation by Joa Karvonen, Baltic model products, forecast products, and Hindcast products by Vibeke Hughes, and a presentation on ocean monitoring indicators dedicated to the Black Sea by Predict. Then I let the floor to Vincent. You want to add something for the question and answer mode?
Yeah, hello everyone. I hope everybody is in good shape today. I am a marketing officer at Mercator Ocean International, and I do a quick speech to give you the rules for this meeting. So as you can see for the slide, each presentation will be followed by a question and answer. So to ask a question, you have the chat on the bottom right of your screen, where you can simply type your question added with a question mark, and the moderator Fabrice and Mathilde will choose the most relevant question and will display it during the question and answer at the end of each presentation. Don't worry, we will not be able to answer all the questions during this session, but we will make sure that all these questions will be answered during round 2 of this training workshop, okay? As I told you, the chat mode is here. You simply type your question and the moderator will do the rest, okay? As Fabrice told you, if we are not late, around 10:55, 11, we have a virtual coffee break. Stay connected, and we will be back around 11:30 for the second webinar, the second session. One more thing, at each end of webinar, we have, I will launch a small survey in order you to note, to give a mark to the presentation and to leave your comments. It is very important for us to have your feedback, because we want to propose you the most reliable online webinar, okay? I think that's it for me. Yeah, I'll leave you the floor, Fabrice.
Thank you, Vincent. So I continue this presentation of the format of this new format of the workshop. You will have access to different tools and materials. So this meeting, this webinar session is hosted by Click Meeting on the Click Meeting platform. As Vincent said, you will have access to a Q&A mode. You will have access to a Jupyter Hub platform to practice the Jupyter Notebook. And you will have access also to the chat platform, Mattermost platform. You have the user guides on the document you should have received. About the tutorial videos, on the Copernicus Marine Service YouTube channel, you will find videos made by the service desk, how to download, an introduction to the Jupyter Notebook, environment, presentation of the NetCDF format. These kind of videos are highly recommended for beginners, okay? And then you will find a playlist with video recorded by experts to guide you during the execution of the Jupyter Notebooks. If you have any question, don't hesitate to contact us at this email address. And finally, I would like to thank our main partners involved in this organization of this workshop, Noveltis, which is a French company who works in satellite missions with a lot of development in image treatment. I thank you, Noveltis, for their involvement in this organization. They also have a part in this organization to clean and to update the Jupyter Notebook on the Jupyter Hub. So thank you. And Capitec is our local Polish partner to organize this workshop. Capitec was in charge of the marketing and the communication, and they participate to organize this training with us. So thank you, Pavel from Capitec, Mathilde from Noveltis, Simon, Vincent from Noveltis also. I would like also to thank you all the speakers involved in this workshop and from the different Black Sea producers. So thank you, Joanna, Yoa, Vibeke, Predic, Mathilde, Simon, Paz, and Vincent. And now I wish you a fruitful workshop. Thank you. So I will start with a general presentation of this Copernicus Marine Service. So first of all, what is the Copernicus Marine Service? The Copernicus Marine Service is part of the program called Copernicus. Copernicus, it's a European program which aims to develop an operational and autonomous Earth observation capacities for Europe. How? By developing space and in-situ infrastructures to measure by creating thematic services to validate and disseminate the data. Okay, so each services are implemented by an interested entity by the EU Commission, and Mercator International is implementing the Copernicus Marine Service. You must know that behind this Copernicus Marine Service infrastructure to disseminate the data, there is a network of different producers with centers dealing with satellite and in-situ observation and centers operating forecasting system. Okay. You must know also that this kind of such capacities are not feasible by only one member state, only one country. Only Europe can gather the best from its each different member states to create this program and its associated services. So whether you are a researcher or a student on climate change, shellfish or aquaculture farmers, routing specialists working for a shipping company, or an engineer specialized in marine renewable energy, whether you are an officer working on maritime spatial planning or marine strategy framework directive implementation for your country, perhaps you are working on the security for workers at sea, or you are a member of an NGO working on water's quality. You know that ocean observing and forecasting is an imperative today to facing societal challenges. And the principal information you have to remember after this general presentation of the Copernicus Marine Service are this information. The Copernicus Marine Service are only one access, a single point of access for the data. This is the website of the Copernicus Marine Service, so marine.copernicus.eu. The access to this service is open and free. All the data available are scientifically validated and qualified. You will find the same harmonized format for all the data, which is NetCDF, and the evolution of the service take into account the user requirements. Okay, so each year there are several releases of the catalog, etc. And in order to support all the audiences interested by marine or maritime informations, the service gives today access to three kinds of level of informations, the core data, which are the ocean products, the ocean monitoring indicators, and finally the ocean state report. So the data can come from different sources: in situ observation, satellite observation, or 3D model. They cover different regions, which are the 6 European basins, plus the global ocean, with different temporal scales and different frequencies of update, with reanalysis over the 25 years in the past, the real-time information or forecast information. With all these different sources, spatial and temporal coverage, the data catalog of Copernicus Marine Service try to respond to all the needs from all kinds of users. So you will find on the catalog of the Copernicus Marine Service information from satellite data. The satellite data provided by the Copernicus Marine Service are only L3 and L4 processing level data. The in situ observation data come from different international networks like Eurogoose, GCOM, EMODNet, SeaDataNet. And we have access to, you will have access to model data. So this is a numerical representation of the ocean. And in this representation of the ocean, we integrate real data to force the model to be more realistic, more accurate. So during the second part of this workshop dedicated to the Baltic Sea, Vibeke will give you a presentation on model products, forecast and ICAST. Yua will present you CIS products. Joanna will give you a presentation on in situ observation products, and Predict will give you a presentation on ocean monitoring indicators. So stay tuned. So this table, it's just an extract of the Copernicus Marine Service catalog to show you what kind of parameter you can find, and with the different sources. You can see the differences between the different parameter, but also and especially the complementarities between the data of sources. Okay. So now, second level of expertise in this service, the ocean monitoring indicators, which are key variables to monitor the health of the ocean. This information is critical for assessing and confronting oceanic and atmospheric changes associated with global warming. They can be used by scientists, policy and decision makers, for example, people who are working on the sustainable development goal, environmental agencies, general public, etc. So thanks to this ocean monitoring indicators, you can access directly on the map, on the infography, and the data. And to finish, you can have access to the highest level of expertise of the Copernicus Marine Service, which is the Ocean State Report. It provides a comprehensive and state-of-the-art assessment of the state of the global ocean and the European regional seas. It's dedicated for the ocean scientific community as well as for the policy and decision maker. And the Blue Book, the Copernicus for a Sustainable Ocean document, promotes and tells the story of the Copernicus Marine Service. It's a report to inform all the European citizens about how the Copernicus Marine Service benefits society as a whole. Supporting users is one of the Copernicus Marine Service commitments. how to find the relevant data for my activity, what will be the content of the next release of the catalog, will the continuity of this product be ensured? All these questions you can ask this question to the service desk, and the service desk is working to support you and to answer all these questions you may have. Okay. The Copernicus service is also committed to share knowledge through training workshops, through educational event. Following the audience, our experts are available for training sessions, scientific mediation, and ready to participate to hackathons or to work with aquariums or museums to build exhibition. Okay, and my last slide is just a reminder of all the links you may have, you may need to access all this information on the Copernicus Marine Service. Thank you.
Thank you, Fabio. It seems we don't have any question for you for the moment. I recall to those of you who arrived during or who missed the introduction part that you can ask question in the chat part on the bottom right corner of the window, and we will pick some questions and ask them to the presenters during the webinar. So don't hesitate if you have questions. So now I let the floor to to Cédric Jourdan, who is going to present the service desk. Thank you, Cédric.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I share my screen. Okay, so good morning. I'm Cédric Jourdan from the Copernicus Marine User Support. I'm going to give you an overview of the service part of the website. And first of all, you have to keep in mind some keywords of the Copernicus Marine Service. You will find ocean information in 3 categories. All the service is free of charge, whatever the application. The service is sustained over time, and the service is user-driven. So the feedback from users are taken into account for future development improvements. So on the web page, you can see the 3 categories of data. First one, as Fabrice said, the Ocean State Report is a report made by experts. It is a scientific report. Then also you can find an ocean monitoring indicators. Here you will find essential variable to monitor the health of the ocean. So here the data are sorted by type and by area. So for example, if I click on the global ocean for the ocean health, I access to different indicators, and clicking on the more info, this one for example, or not, yes, okay, I can download the trend of this variable. I come back to the home page. The third type of information is the catalog of ocean products. I will focus on this one. So here you will find historical and forecast data from satellite, in situ or model, and you can on the left part of the screen here you can define your search. For example, for this session, I will choose a Baltic Sea region among all the areas available. In the parameter, I will choose the temperature. Here, with the list, you will find all the parameters available in the catalog. I can specify temporal coverage. I will keep this one, and I can specify if I want data only for the surface or for the whole water column. So here I would like to have data for the whole water column. So 3 products match my criteria. You can see an export result button here. You can export in PDF format the result of your search. And if you didn't specify any search filter, you will export the whole content of the catalog. For this session, I choose, for example, the Baltic Sea reanalysis physics. So all the products are presented by in a cartouche form, like this one, a sum up table. You will find a sum up information of this product. Here, the identifier. Here, title. Here, if it's a model in situ or a satellite observation. Here, there are several bullet of colors, different colors. If I let my mouse on it, I can see that this product assimilates SST, or sea surface temperature, but it doesn't assimilate the sea level information. It assimilates in situ temperature and salinity profiles, and it doesn't assimilate sea ice concentration and thickness. Below, here I have all the variables available in this product. The temperature, bottom temperature. If I let my mouse on the acronym, I have the description below. If I have a doubt, I can follow the information icon on the right. You will reach a glossary with a table with all the acronyms. I come back to my page. No, this one. Here below, you will find the horizontal resolution and the number of levels. Here for this product, there will be 56 depth levels. Below here, the temporal coverage. Here, the temporal resolution. So inside this product, you will find hourly, daily, and monthly means. And below, several shortcuts to have more information, to add this product to your cart, and the services available to this product. So now I reach the product information page. So I click on the identifier. In this product information page, there are 4 different tabs: information, documentation, services, and newsflash. So I begin by the information one. Here there is a share button. Here you can share the information, this product in a XML format, PDF format, or you can copy paste the permalink. So in the information tab, you will find the information available in the cartouche. So you have a short description of the product, references, if there are references, the geographical coverage, if it's observation or model, here it's numerical model, the product type, here it's a multi-year product, because it's we will find data in the past, the data assimilated, SST and in situ TS profiles, the variables, the spatial resolution, the vertical coverage, the coordinate reference system, the feature type, the temporal coverage, the temporal resolution, update frequency, the production units, and the format of the data is NetCDF. In the second tab, named documentation, you will find for all products 2 different documents: a product user manual, it's more a technical document, and a quality information document, it's more a scientific document. So following, for example, the first one, you will reach a PDF format document containing several information on the product. same thing for the second document, the QID, the Quality Information Document. It's a PDF format document. The third tab called Services. Here you will find the different services available for this product. So you have a catalog service for web, the web map service, a subsetter service, that is I will show you later, you can cut the data depending on your needs. So it's not an obligation to download the whole area. You can select a part of the area. A direct get file is not available for this product, it's not proposed, but with this option, you will download the whole dataset. And then for all products, you can download data using classic FTP. And the last tab is the Newsflash. Also, it has to, where is? So, doesn't matter, I will show you the general Newsflash page. In this tab, you will find operational events regarding this product. A maintenance, an incident, an improvement, everything will be listed in this tab. Now, I move to the icons on the right. So the first one, you will add this product to your cart. The second one, you can view product. So I follow this icon. You will reach the viewing page. So it's important to note that it's not necessary to be registered to view the data. For example, I choose the data set. So a product is composed of several data sets. And in the data set, you will find the variables. For example, I keep the monthly means and I choose the temperature. So here I have the temperature of Baltic Sea on December 2018 at the surface. I can move the depth. I can change, if I want, the limits of the color bar. I can share the information I can export a PNG of image. So you click right and you save the picture. There is also a permalink. You can open in Google Earth, but for this moment there is an issue with this option, so it's not available for the moment. And here you have a user guide to have more information about the feature of this tool, and you can create animations choosing the start and the end dates. So I come back to my product information page. Oh, sorry, here. Now, of course, you can download data. To download the product, you have to be registered. To register, you can here sign in, but I will show you later the how to register. So I follow the icon download product. So I log in. I choose the data sets, the same for the viewer. I take for them the monthly means. Here, so I can choose a specific part of the area. It's not good. Sorry. Okay, for example, I choose my time range. So I will keep only time range. So the December of 2018. I choose the depth. I can choose several depths. I choose the variable. So I uncheck all, I choose only the temperature, and here I click on download option. So here you can find the different services to download for this product. Here, the subsetter. So this min will take into account the geographical area, the depth, the time range, and the variables. And you can also download the data with the FTP, but you will download the whole data set. So I click on this one. So it's important to note that you can automate your downloads. If you, for example, you choose a forecast product, you want to download every day, any update. So you can automate your download using Python script. And you can, here, if I click on the view script button, you will find the requirements and the command line. And there is a link to the FAQ page. So I will show you later the FAQ page. So here I have downloaded my my data. I can open it for this. For example, I will use Panoply. It's a freeware. I choose the data I've downloaded. This one. I double click on the temperature. And my data is displayed. So it's quite easy to download and to visualize data. Oh, I come back to my presentation. Now, it's important to now you download data, you use the service, but it's important to know the status of the service. If there are maintenance, if there are incidents, etc. So there are several pages. So in the user corner here, there is a service news flash. So here you will find all the operation events, maintenance, improvements, etc. So for example, this one, a new service release is planned on July. So I click on the title. I have more information. So on the date and the product impacted. For example, there is also, for this one, on this product, the 126, there is currently an incident. So you will find detail on the incident. There is also another page called product improvement. So this page is dedicated to improvements only. So there is also an article about the release of July with a sum up here, and two different documents, a notice. You will find a description of the release and a product here, a product impacted document. So you click on it and you will find the whole list of the Copernicus Marine products and the changes, if there are changes, of course. So for the Baltic, you can see that the reanalysis product will be extended until the end of June 2019, sorry. So this page is important to have improvement to come. And of course, if you used to download a specific product, you will receive targeted email to be informed of any operation events. Now, to learn about the service and the use of data, there is a getting started page here. The link is available on every page. I click on it. You have a recall of the offer, and you follow the path, and you will find data to search data, information, sorry, to search data, to visualize with several links for tutorials or FAQs, to register, to download, to learn, etc. So this page is quite interesting when you start with the Copernicus Marine Service. Sorry. Then there is also here on the service portfolio menu a technical FAQ page. So you will find several articles to how to download the data, how to automate my script, how to register. For example, what information is available in the cartouche. I click on the title, and here you will find on the screen all the details about the cartouche of the product. There is also a page dedicated to tutorials. You can sort on the level, geographical area, or subject. If there is 1 star, is for beginners, and if there are 2 stars, it's for advanced people. There is also a page about the use case. Here you will find information about how some users use Copernicus marine data to provide service for several applications. So same thing, you can sort on filter on different parameters, and you click on an icon, and you will find more information about the application, the data used, etc. So it's an interesting page to have data or to have examples of user data. To register, as a reminder, all the service is free of charge, whatever the application. So here there is a page, register now. So you fill in the form, and you will receive automatically your login and password. How to contact the service desk? There is several forms. At the bottom of the page, there is here any question. So you will fill in a form, and the service desk will receive an alert email. There is, when you download data, there is a specific form called the report issue to contact also the service desk when you have a data download issue. And of course, you can contact us by email. So the service desk is open on open days and open hours on French local time. It's important to know that to optimize your experience and be able to run the session by your own, you need your Copernicus service credential. So before the practical session, please register, and the experience will be better. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cédric. So if you have any question in the audience, don't hesitate to write it in the chat section. And actually, we had 2 questions for Fabrice. I don't know if, or Cédric, maybe.
Yeah.
So I will publish the first one.
I can publish the question.
Okay, good. So
Yes.
the question was, are the data available live, or are they posted only after some time?
So it depends what kind of data. If you think about satellite or in-situ data, for example, who can be near real time, you have a short delay for the processing, reprocessing, and validation process. But some of the data are instantaneously available on the website. And for the model products, it depends the frequency of the updates. Some of the models proposed on the catalog are wholly updated. And the second question. think it was here. Which Copernicus satellite images are you referring for 25 years reanalysis? So first of all, just about the word, we do not deal with satellite images in the sense of visible information. On the catalog, you will just have access to data, okay, satellite data. The 25 years reanalysis are made from modeling data or multi-sources satellite mission, which are reprocessed to have this kind of products. And for this kind of reanalysis, for the model data, it's only track altimeter data who are assimilated to this reanalysis on model. And a last question about coastal zone. How far from the coastline data are available? Again, it depends. It depends the source of the data. The model, the global model and the regional model have a certain grid, and sometimes it's not enough precise to make a coastal application on that. But the catalog provides you also information from satellites, which are very precise to this kind of, to provide this kind of information. So you can use also model products from a different model with a forecasting model, for example, to build your own regional and coastal area model and to assimilate the satellite data on this model. And you can use the big one, the global one, of the Baltic Sea product to force at the boundary condition your coastal area model. Okay, that's good for the moment. I think we have a lot of questions, so I hope some of the speakers after can answer to the other questions. Okay. So let's close this part of question and answer session.
Yes. So thank you to both of you. And now we let the floor to Virginie Lafont from IC, who is going to present a service developed on the Baltic Sea. So Virginie, if you can open your microphone. Thank you. Do we have, okay, that's fine.
It took a bit of time.
Virginie, are you here?
Yes, do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yes, Virginie.
Okay, great. Hello. Hello, everyone. Thanks. Thanks to the organizers to invite me to present a service that has been built using partially CMEMS data. Well, I will talk about a specific topic, harmful algal bloom that occur more or less every summer in the Baltic Sea, and so we have the chance. We had the great chance to be founded in the framework of the Siemens demonstration cluster for the Baltic Sea to develop this new service. So I will make the presentation, but I have a colleague from, and I'm Virginie Lafont from IC, and there is a colleague from Planetech Italia, Giulio Ceriola, that is also online to answer some questions. So I will talk about these harmful algal blooms, HABs, in the Baltic Sea. I will talk briefly about existing solutions and what we try to implement during these past 2 years and what is new in our ID. We'll talk about the consortium, about the service, our markets and users, and what are the benefits for the end users and also for us as a consortium, as an SME consortium. So about HABs, for who doesn't know what's it all about. Sometimes in some specific cases, but this happens now in many coastal regions and also in lakes. We can observe from space large colonies of microalgae that develop totally out of control. This happens in eutrophic places mostly. And this is due to different parameters. I won't develop that too much. But what happens is that you can observe very large quantities of microalgae. You have the pictures on the bottom of the slide, and this explains why we can see it from land. Well, we see it from airborne pictures and also from space, and this is particularly visible here in the Baltic Sea. Well, the problem is because of these huge quantities, because the microalgae will absorb all the available oxygen, so it's one of the problems. And also there is some producers of toxins in the species represented in these blooms, and also species that will be responsible for fish gills irritation. So these harmful algal bloom can have serious impacts on the environment, as we saw on the pictures, and impacts on the people, because these species can be toxic and dangerous for people, dangerous for the fishes, and also dangerous for the economy. And you have here pictures from European Commission that address all the impacts, major impacts that can have these HABs. So impact is on the tourism, health impacts, human health impacts have been observed also often, and also commercial fisheries impact. And finally, well, what managers shall address is an observation, is careful management of the water bodies that are affected by the HABs. So for sure, to prevent I don't know what's happening. I hope you can still hear me. So to prevent these major economical disasters, what should be done is to improve water quality, which is the main objective for sure. And to do that, it's important. It's obviously important to have increased knowledge about the HABs, how they occur, how this happens. Well, I'm sorry, I lost my. Okay. So okay, this is one of the important things we have to think about. And second, to prevent major economical disasters is to monitor and control past events, to ensure people, because when this happens, you lost your fishes, for instance, when you're aquaculture manager, well, we need also monitor and warn to prevent impact on human health, and for instance, to close beaches when these HABs occur. So it's needed to observe and also needed to predict. Observations are already done at a very local scale. Field observation measurements are necessary to assess well, the dangerosity, for instance, of HAB, and also observation can be done from the sky, from the space, using airborne or satellite observation. Prediction is also very important because observation cannot be done very easily every day, everywhere, at every second. So it's important at the same time to observe and also to predict now and in the next future what will happen and how the HABs will develop and move, for instance, or start. So in the Baltic Sea, some monitoring solutions already exist, have been developed. I just make a reference to two of them. The first one from the Finnish Environment Institute was based on chlorophyll concentration data, but we have been following mostly what has been developed by HELCOM and by the Baltic Marine Environment Protection Commission. This is mostly based also on satellite observation, but it will focus on cyanobacteria biomass. So, okay, we can provide maps on the whole Baltic Sea using satellite observation. And what does the HELCOM do is production of environmental studies that are based on monthly retrospective using satellite models, observation. Then they will mostly focus on the Baltic Sea protection and improvement of the water quality, which, as I was telling you, is the first objective we have to address when we want to improve and decrease this, the occurrence of the HABs. So we have decided to focus on something else. For sure, it is not the role of SMEs like us to protect the Baltic Sea, but we decided to focus on the risk of occurrence of HABs. And since we had the possibilities to work with Siemens products, we focused on both near real-time observations and drift forecast. Drift forecast is something different than forecasting the bloom, the occurrence of the bloom. But while we wanted to see how the bloom moves once it exists and is observed. So at the same time, we will use satellite observation and numerical models. Our idea was to provide near real-time warnings about the HAB occurrence and also to document past events because it seems important to facilitate sustainable economic activity development. So we formed a consortium. So it's a consortium of SMEs. I see it's a French company. Hydropod is also a French company. And we are both specialized in coastal monitoring, coastal modeling based on space data. And we joined to our group N7 Mobile and Planetech Italia. N7 is a mobile app developer from Poland, and Planetech Italia is an Italian company specialized in geoinformation data diffusion. So this is on the left side. And on the other side, so we formed the development team. And on the other side, we had the possibility to speak to potential end users in Poland, people that we questioned in order to have an idea of what would be interesting for them, their managers, in their daily work. What would be interesting to have now in terms of HABs, observations, for instance. And what they told us, we mostly work with the Global Inspector Sanitary, a GIS that is responsible for the beach sanitary status. They told us that it would be interesting to have HAB occurrence prediction, HAB drift forecasting, HAB early notification. So want to know happening and what will happen very soon. Also HAB toxicity assessment, and finally the GIS told us, oh, what would be really nice would be to obtain a risk level of HAB. Something will maybe happen in the next few hours, 24 hours, for instance, to alert beach managers. So we decided, well, it's already a nice letter to to us. we decided to address most of these topics except toxicity assessment, because we knew from the literature that this was something extremely difficult. But from the literature also, and from the past tests, and also the monitoring that is already done by HELCOM, that it was possible to map cyanobacteria to predict their occurrence, and also drift forecasting is something that we could do. And early notification, well, was challenging, but seemed to be possible based on CMEMS data. So we focused on our demo, all our demo on beach monitoring, since we had the support from the GIS. So we worked with them during 12 months, well, a bit more than 1 year, to design a service that would be helpful daily for them. So how does this all work? Service operation. So we developed a simple, that is quite simple, I would say, based on observation data, on satellite Sentinel-3 imagery that is made available by CMEMS. For this specific service, we prefer to use the data from the EUMETSAT server. It's the same data. Basically, they are processed in the same way, but it was more better for us because they are displayed earlier than the data on CMEMS. But I'm sure this will change, and we will be also a CMEMS user. But we made the test with both the data source, and it works in the same way. So anyway, the satellite passed at 10:30 in the morning, universal time, and 3 hours after we have the image. We make a process. Well, it's 1 hour work on our servers, our own servers. And just after that, we can run the drift forecast. So it takes a bit of time, but not that much. We optimized a lot our calculations, and then less than five years after the image was acquired, we can get the result. So it's extremely small, and it means that in the evening you will know if an HAB is directed, is moving towards your zone, toward your beach, toward your place you are managing. So finally, it was decided to have 2 ways of diffusion of this of the products we are producing. So basically, we provide daily observation of phycocyanin concentration and risk of occurrence of HAB. I won't detail all the process. Phycocyanin is concentration is based on an algorithm calibrated in Gdansk Bay by scientific team, and the risk of occurrence has been calibrated using Polish data observation. We had closure observation and the phycocyanin, associated phycocyanin concentration, and we made a rule to fit this concentration to the closure of the beaches, which means that the HAB was there. And so it's mostly a risk of occurrence that we predict and propose. In addition to this daily observation, we propose twice a day forecast for the three next days of these 2 parameters. physical ocean concentration, and HAB risk. The diffusion is made on two platforms, as I was telling you in the introduction. A web platform, you have the demo link in this slide, and also an application, a mobile application that has been configured and specially configured for the Polish beach for this demonstration phase. So we identified several markets and users. So bathing water managers and controllers, the one who helped us to build this new service and to build the final. It's more than a use case, I would say, because now we have the final documentations they could use every day to prevent or at least to alert, to warn tourists and to avoid that people go to the sea and swim. Fisheries manager who could be also interested by these products. The tourism industry and also insurance companies are our targets now. So the benefits basically are these daily refreshed warnings. As I was telling you, we observe daily the water surface, but with satellite imagery, when you have clouds, you don't have observation basically. That's why we are very. That's why we focused a lot, or we concentrated a lot on this forecast and the accuracy of this forecast in order to have data more or less. Well, no, it's really every day during summertime. So to have data every day about the risk of HAB occurrence at the scale of the Baltic Sea. Then also we have with Siemens data, with the Siemens archive, Sentinel-free data, and other potentially interesting optical imagery, the same kind of data, to map HABs in the past, also at the scale of the Baltic Sea. So we can derive location and intensity of the HABs all over the Baltic Sea. Because the data are stored, we can reproduce all the chronics, all the history of these HABs. Finally, we propose level of risk of HABs for the Baltic Sea beaches. So right now, the calibration is made with regards to beach managers in Poland. So I don't know if there is some specificity with their work, but I'm sure that they calibrated their job with regards to the WHO rules. So it should be more or less the same for every country. We forbid, for instance, water or swimming each time the bloom occurs. I'm sure it's the same rules for every country. Finally, for us as SMEs, we decided to develop this service because we wanted to enrich our commercial offer for IC and HydroCoat. It was very clear because we are already developing services for coastal observation, for instance, for water quality, risk of erosion, biodiversity. So for us, it was just natural to propose this service. It is also meant to increase our visibility on the European market, and that's also why we designed this SME team in France, Italy, and Poland as well. It is meant to increase our activity, so it's not only a demo that we made, but now we are actively turned to the commercial development of this activity. And finally, what is our main interest is to recruit new collaborators and grow up our teams. Well, thank you. I think I've been going through all the information I wanted to give you today. Please do not hesitate to contact me. So it's not Siemens service we are talking about, but really a downstream service of Siemens. So thank you for your email. I will be pleased to answer you. And also do not hesitate to check the various sites and also to have a look on the demo. And well, thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Virginie, for this interesting presentation. We had a lot of questions for you, but yes, unfortunately we have time just to one or two questions. So I will give you the question on the screen. So, which question will be?
Well, this is the difficult question because I'm not the one qualified. But we use the drift model that is already in the Siemens package. So
Virginie?
Yes.
Can you? I can answer on this.
Okay, great.
I'm Giulio Ceriola. The model used here is the HTOP model. It's named, developed by FAO, for forecasting the drift of organic or biological entities at sea. So the name is HTOP, and it uses horizontal velocity at along the water column plus other information.
HTOP. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Giulio. And the second question, this one from Miguel. Could you relate HIB occurrence and eutrophication status?
I think this is possible from the literature, but we haven't done that so far. So it's something that should be tested, I guess.
Okay. Perhaps the last one. Okay, you present this on your last slide, but perhaps to precise, what are the main scientific data analysis challenges you are facing right now or will face in the near future?
Well, it's a huge question. From a scientific point of view, there are really many questions. So we made the best with what with the scientific literature, but we know we discussed that with Warsaw University, for instance, that the cyanobacteria concentration is not very well estimated. So this is something that must be really better known. In terms of data analysis, we are, I have to say, really proud to develop something very fast that really answers the needs of the real end user of this service. But I think that, okay, what would be really interesting now is to address lakes, for instance, that because cyanobacteria are everywhere in the world. In the Baltic Sea, it's a bit special because the water is not so salty, but cyanobacteria are really present in lakes everywhere in Europe, and this would be really interesting to try also to address lakes with higher resolution data. We made a try. It is extremely challenging, and this is something that we really would like to focus on in the next years.
Okay, thank you. So, as we said, all the questions will be collected, and we will ask the question to Virginie on the forum, on the platform, the chat platform, and she will try to answer to all your questions. So, thank you very much. Mathilde, are you here with me?
Yes, here I am. Yes,
no?
thank you, Virginie. And
I think it's time for the coffee
Virginie,
break, for the virtual coffee break.
Yes, sorry, Virginie. Yes. Don't forget to close your microphone when you leave the speaker room. And yes, it's time for the virtual coffee break. But during this coffee break, we will ask you some questions through a survey, which you will find here. So you can directly answer through the screen, and it will help us to improve this new format of webinars and online training session. So thank you in advance for your answers, and we will be back at 11:30 with the presentation of the Baltic Sea regional products. So the in-situ products, the sea ice products, and the model products, and also ocean monitoring indicators. So see you in a quarter of an hour. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mathilde.